guys and dolls. Freedom Dot here. It's weird talking to a camera when I know there's nobody on live, but I know you're going to come on watching it just shortly. So, yeah, so the Pope's died. Not much shock or horror where I am, to be honest with you. Very, very strange. It's like it's. I don't know. I think maybe it's because people expected he was already dead. To be honest with you. But yeah, report of a chapel getting burnt in Donegal. I have heard reports that it's allegedly Afghans, so that is one report that's been heard, you know what I mean? And I'm not reporting that, I'm just telling you what the rumour mill is. That's what I'm telling you. I'm in Limerick, Southern Ireland, little big guy. And that's what the rumour is, that it's I don't know who else would burn a chapel in Ireland. Let's be honest, you know. who else would burn a chapel in Ireland, guys? You know. Let's ask that question. Good evening. Unite Britain. That's a good one. I like that. I like that. That's a very good name. Well done, mate. Unite Britain. Yeah, welcome to the platform, mate. Welcome to my community. Yeah, so I'm in Limerick, meeting Irish people. Obviously, I'm here wanting to learn, wanting to understand, wanting to know. This is the first time I've ever been in the South in peacetime. Um, it's the first time I've ever been in the South of Ireland. Not up to no good, and it's refreshing, very refreshing, and I had to change it from Kenny's Crack. Oh, all right, all right, mate. Name. Kenny's Crack was all right. We liked that, so we did. But yeah, it's you know, I am learning so much. I am growing, guys. I am growing. I am maturing in Southern Ireland. And yeah, it's really, really interesting. Really interesting. Freaky gypsy geek freak. Happy Easter, everyone. Happy Easter, freaky. Welcome to the channel, mate. Yeah, a new name. Oh, thanks, mate. Thank you so much. Happy days. But yes, in Southern Ireland, we come. All right, mate. Mate, not been on in a while. Had a massive swollen knee. Oh, I hope you're okay, buddy. Hope you're okay. I'm in Limerick. I'm in Southern Ireland. I don't know if you know. I've been travelling from Scotland down to see my brother in Liverpool, over to see my friends in my childhood friends in Belfast, and I'm now seeing a friend in Limerick. Yeah, so he's a Scots guy. It's living over here, lived over here for a while and that. And it's a beautiful part of the world. It's on the coast. The Atlantic's there. Hopefully do a wee bit of fishing. I'm just sorting that out. Mutley, clickbait. What's up, mate? What's clickbait? We are talking. We will be talking about. I'm not, we are. The first thing I started with was that topic, and I'm just talking to. Hello, John Connor. Happy Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. Obviously. So yeah, I'm surprised at you, Mutley. I don't know what you're talking about. I probably picked you up wrong. I seen a video the day that you were on your travels. Looks minted, yeah. Happy Easter. Yeah, so like I say, I'm in a Southern Ireland and chapel on the thumbnail. Yeah, it's some chapel in Donegal has been burnt. It's on fire. And the rumour mill in Ireland, where I am, is that it was Afghans. Now that's just allegedly, guys. You know what I mean? I'm only telling you what's being said. There is reports, there is posts out there is videos out there claiming it was Afghans. Now all I'm going to say here, it is real, mate. Yeah, Mutley, I would never do that, mate. I'm not that kind of YouTuber. You should know that. You should know that. Yeah. So it's St. Mary's. The chapel is called St. Mary's, and it's in Donegal, and it is on fire. And yeah, it's very, very sad to see. Very, very sad to see. And what I'm going to say, as you know, as a logical guy, who else is going to burn a chapel in southern in Donegal? It's just not. It's not. Obviously you're going to get your headers are going to come out and say, "Oh, it's been done to make it look like whatever." We'll see what happens. Let's just see what happens. There seems to be a lot of people coming out openly online and saying, and I'm saying allegedly, I'm just telling you what the word on the street is, that it was Afghani refugees. Now, that is allegedly, and that is what's going about online on certain social media sites over here. Now, whatever country you're in, guys, whatever area you're in, whether you're in Liverpool, Manchester, Scotland, London, Belfast, or Dublin, or any part of Ireland, you're always going to get stuff on your phone from that area. So I'm getting all the local stuff. So I am on my TikTok, straight to my TikTok, all the Southern Ireland stuff. So yeah, you've got to wait for the investigations and all that. You know what I mean? RTE are reporting on it. Everybody's reporting on it. All the news channels are reporting on it, and but nobody's mentioning who's done it. You know, it's only the social media. It's only the citizen journalists in Ireland and in Northern Ireland are reporting on the fact of that they think that it was Afghans. So yeah, that's all I can tell you. I'm here. I'm telling you what the word on the street is. Um, yeah, and let's be honest, we don't have chapels getting burnt. We didn't even burn chapels. You know what I mean? We didn't. I can't remember. Unless somebody can correct me. But hold on, guys. Hold on. I know. I see you. I see you. I see you. I honestly don't think there's ever been a chapel or a church burnt in our country during the Troubles. But I could be wrong. Right, that's enough. Big blue staffy, big cracker in it. Same thing happened in France with Notre Dame. Yes, I remember that, mate. I think they've just got that back together again, haven't they? So, yeah, there you go. So, obviously, we look at everything logically. It's just the way we do. You know what I mean? Little beer bottle. Yeah, we look at everything logically. Right? So, it's in Donegal. St. Mary's Chapel is on fire. So we know that we don't burn our churches. We don't burn chapels. Protestants don't burn chapels. Catholics don't burn churches. It's never a thing. We do not mess about with our religion. We're all Christians. That's the bottom line. The evidence is, in the past, the churches that are getting burnt are being burnt by people who are following Islam, and whether they are true followers of Islam or like Keith or real Muslims, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. You know what I mean? I can't imagine anybody following any religion burning another person's church. It doesn't make any sense to me. But it's But anyway, on that note, so I need to tell you a wee bit what's going on. So Ireland is in trouble, guys. It really is in trouble. There's very few places being untouched. The only places that aren't being touched with irregular immigration in Southern Ireland is the places where the money is, i.e. big resorts, coastline resorts, where there's big golf courses and places like that. They're untouched. But there's villages and places around Ireland that are getting decimated. There's more men getting brought in, fighting age men, getting brought into these areas, and there's more of them than there is people in some of these areas. I'm getting stories from people, and it is scary. I sat today and spoke to a couple of women who told me that they went out to a hotel where there was refugees, and they went out and they were just wanting to go and see how they were getting on, how they were being treated, and they pulled up, and these men, fighting age men, right? And this is their words. They looked military. They wound down the window to say hello, and they all just growled at them. And the women in the car were terrified and drove away. And they said to me, and this, I don't need to bullshit you or anything like that, guys. This is just from the horse's mouth. And they said to me, like, there was something that came from them that really frightened them, and they're convinced that they're military. People in Ireland believe that some of these people are coming over here to scout, to check out. People truly believe that this country is about to be invaded. I'm not kidding you on. The feeling of normal Irish folk that are around the areas where these men are coming in are really really worried, and it's horrible to see. It really is. There's nothing nice about it, because Ireland is a beautiful country. It really is. It is an amazing country. Like the coastline and everything, and it's got so much to offer. And yeah, Ireland is in a bad state right now. There's no two ways about it. And there's a demo on Sunday. There's a demo on Saturday in Dublin. Please believe me. Now I'm going to put my neck on the line here, guys. Wait till you see the numbers that turn out in Dublin. I'm going to be there for you guys. I'm going to be recording it. I'm going to try and get some interviews. I know. I'm hoping everything should be all right. I'm going to get some interviews from some very, hopefully, influential YouTubers that a lot of people have a lot of respect for over here. And I'm going to talk to some Irish people in Dublin at the day of this rally. So there's no point me sitting here and going, yeah, this is what's happening. This is what people are telling me. This is like normal Irish people, like that don't live in the cities. These aren't people that are living in Dublin or living in the city centres. These are people who are living in areas outside of the cities, and there's areas where not far from here, and I am going to be going to have a look, and I will be bringing footage for you guys. I will. This is the pre-date. I'm telling you what's coming. You know what I mean? This is what we're talking about. People are telling me what's there, what's happening. So they're going to show me. And then I'm going to bring footage. We need to stop pissing about and protect our homes and shores, and also the general census in Ireland, as well as they feel with the EU that they are losing everything that they believed in. That the Irishness, and everything's going. They can see a future where what they know will disappear. And that's what people feel. People are awake. Believe it or not, a lot of people are awake. I'm talking to people in areas that are so secluded. People like that they've lived here all their lives. They don't. They maybe went on holiday here and there, but they're proper Irish people living in the depth of Ireland, and yeah, they're awake. They are awake, and they're worried. You know what I mean? You're going to see exactly what I'm talking about on Saturday, guys. I promise you. I'm 110%. What I hear from people, I can tell you now that Dublin is going to have one of the biggest rallies of anti-immigration, anti-irregular immigration, or whatever you want to call it, this Saturday, without a doubt. And definitely worth keeping an eye on. And I truly believe as well, with this chapel being burnt, that's going to be causing a bit of concern as well. But Freaky, I saw a video by now, and he showed us a video about a migrant hurting an Irish lad, and no one did anything to help. Yes, so good evening, Bandy. So there's also a girl who has been attacked. She's had her jaw broken and teeth missing. Brutal attack, absolutely brutal attack. There's been quite a few attacks. I'm quite sure quite a lot of these guys are on tune. If you're in my community, you know what's going on. You are watching the right people, so you know what I'm talking about. And I can tell you now, this is information that I've received from the horse's mouth, that the Garda are going out to these people's houses, the victims' parents, and threatening them, more or less telling them not to be putting stuff up, not to be putting anything up on the internet. So that's where we're at in Ireland. That's what's happening to the people of Ireland, the victims and the parents of the victims of these men. These men are brutal. You know, some of the attacks that have been dished out to Irish citizens is absolutely brutal. You know, there's no other way to say it. And this is just the ones that we know about. You know, it really is. The general consensus is people think that a lot's getting hidden, an awful lot's getting hidden. I couldn't tell you, but I do know that the Garda are going really, really heavy and really hard on their citizens. I've seen, because while I'm here, I'm being introduced to other YouTubers and other YouTube channels that I will be bringing these. Um, and what I'm seeing is horrific. I'm seeing the Garda dressed in full riot gear and shields attacking old age pensioners, you know. And this is footage, video footage from other patriots, you know, that some of it isn't online, some of it is online. And I promise you, when I get time to sit down and go through everything and get everything screen recorded and get it in a video, I will bring it to these guys. I did do a video today. The wind caught it. I put it up, and the wind, it was just terrible. I watched it on the TV, and I was like, I had to take it down. Like I say, the Atlantic is right there, and yeah. But like I say, church burning in Donegal tonight, and the accusations on online and in the grapevine, allegedly it was Afghans. And you know, if people would be saying, "Oh, you're jumping to conclusions and what you blame," listen, I'm just reporting on what the people are saying. That's on the ground. That's all I'm doing. I don't. There's no proof. There needs to be an investigation. You know, I'm telling you what the Irish people are saying. You know, and like I say, you know, Northern Ireland and Ireland, you know, the troubles, you know, been going on for so long. And unless somebody can correct me or tell me I'm wrong, I do not think either side has ever burnt each other's places of worship. You know, I'm born and bred in Belfast, and I've never heard of a chapel being burnt. You know, or maybe a paint or something thrown at it. You know, maybe in the 80s or 90s, maybe. You know, but I've never heard of a chapel being burnt, you know, from our side, and I've never heard of a Protestant church, Methodist, Presbyterian, Church of England, Scotland, whatever, Ireland, never being attacked or burnt by the Catholics, you know. So it does leave us to the conclusions, and you know, I think I'm going to go with what the people on the ground are saying. You know what I mean? The kind of people that are coming out and talking right now about who's responsible for this aren't the type of people that make this kind of mistake, especially in Ireland. Like I say, there is something going on in Ireland that is absolutely huge, you know, absolutely huge. The government are working against the people, the Garda are working against the people, you know. There's, like I say, there's so much evidence of, I'm just going to say it, absolute brutality from the men who are paid to protect the citizens of this country. And it's the last place on earth I would ever see video footage of what I've seen today of attacks on civilians from the police in full riot gear. Never ever would I think that the Irish police would have done that to their own. I've always seen the Garda as a decent police force, you know, like a community police force, you know. And I maybe that's just my way of seeing things, not clearly enough from Northern Ireland. And but you know, that was the consensus. That's what we believe. We've always believed that one of the best police forces that we know has always been the Garda. They've always been like really good with their people and community police and all that. And it's things are changing. Things are changing. I've seen videos of the Garda in mosques telling the Muslims what they need to do to join the police. Um, I've seen videos of the Garda traveling to Pakistan, or I don't know exactly what country it was, but I'm sorry, you know me with dogs, guys. Um, yeah, recruiting for the police. You know what I mean? So something huge is happening in Ireland. The Irish people know that, and a lot of people are very concerned. And like I say, it's very very organized because it's only it's like see wherever the money is in Ireland, that's where you're not getting no refugees. You make Ukrainians. You're getting Ukrainians, right? The Ukrainians have been coming in for quite a while, and everybody's really happy about that. But you know, things have changed. You know, really big time. Like I don't know what else to say, guys. It's um, it's quite. I'm blown away. I I don't could never imagine what we're going through in Britain. I know it's affected in Dublin, right? We know what's going on in Dublin. We know that there's men out in the streets at night protecting their women. We know that there's men getting going, grouping up and walking about the streets at the weekends, making sure their women are safe. You know, um, there's story after story after story of things happening, and this how quick the Garda are going out and threatening people and warning people not to put stuff online. It's quite remarkable. It is quite remarkable because I'm going to tell you something now, right? You know, I know a young man from Bangor in Northern Ireland that got into a bit of trouble and done something that wasn't right. But he was a young man whose father was killed in the troubles, okay, and his mother took it bad because she was there. She witnessed the murder, right? And this young man was brought up, and things went wrong for this young man as a child. And then when things went wrong when he was 17 years old, and he a girl got hit. There was a few people involved, other girls, and a girl got attacked, and milkshakes. Terrible thing that should never have happened, and yes, very very wrong. But the point I want to make here is that young man was paraded all over TV. A man called Nolan, who's like a talk show host in Northern Ireland, advertised it, blew it right up, and put it all over Ulster television or whatever television news in Northern Ireland. That young man then went into prison and got attacked because of that, because of the media, because of the so much coverage. One of our young men who grew up in the troubles has a baby who lost his father. His mother had to go in to get help because she witnessed, you know, and look what they done to this young man. They paraded him all over the TV, documentaries. You know, the lad. He's even he was in another documentary. But yet, when these men come over here and do things to our children and our women, we're being silenced. We're not allowed to say nothing. There's no documentaries about them. Is there? There's no. You're not seeing any of these men being paraded or being scrutinised. You know what I mean? You know, we don't even know their names. They won't even release descriptions. Men are raping women in Ireland, and the police will not even release the description of the man because he's a foreigner. Don't get notifications, mate. I've been on long. Hi, everyone. Hi, John, mate. Yeah, it was just quick, mate. I haven't stopped. Really haven't stopped. And I didn't want to leave it till after 9 bar. Hope you're good, buddy. Ordinary people, both British Unionists and Irish nationalists, need to come together. This is a political point. Yep. Is the Fighting Irish just a myth? Is the Fighting Irish just a myth? No. 110%. It's not a myth. It's the way the government are doing things. It's the way it's getting spread out, you know, and it's only going to go on for so long, guys. You know, there's only so much they're going to take. And I think, you know, you're going to see the Fighting Irish on Saturday coming out to show their numbers peacefully in Dublin city centre. Please believe me, I've got no doubt in my mind. I'm going to put my neck on the line and tell you now that you're going to see numbers in Dublin that you've never seen before. And I'm just going to hope that Belfast pays attention because we've got our protest on the Sunday, and I want to see the numbers there as well. Because if we don't, the government need to understand that we are the voters, we are the people that vote these people in power. Okay, we are the ones that make the decisions, not them. You know, and the only way they're going to understand how much power we have is by coming out onto the streets to show them how disgusted we are with the behaviour of the way they're behaving with our countries, with the countries that we grew up in. as Christians in peace, even though we have our troubles, but we're now in peace. We're trying to come together. We're trying to work a way of going forward in as peaceful as possible, you know. And Ireland has had so many troubles, from the Easter uprising to the famines, the Easter uprisings, the troubles in Northern Ireland. You know, you all know the history of Ireland. You know, you all know how beautiful the country is. You know the struggles of the Irish people, and now the EU are pushing this onto them. You know, I came from Scotland. I travelled from Scotland down to Liverpool to see my brother. I jumped on a boat from Liverpool to Belfast, spent a bit of time in Belfast, jumped on a bus and went into Southern Ireland. Not once did I have to show any ID to anybody. Not once did I see customs or a police officer at any port, any bus terminal, anywhere. Not one. Not one. Can you understand the problem? You've got people coming in through Dover in boats, and you've got people coming in the Ireland through the EU, through the mandate, you know, the quota that we've all got to take. You know, then you've got all the illegals, and they're just running about between Britain and Ireland willy-nilly. We don't know who any of them are. They're committing offences in Ireland, and then they're bolting over to Britain. They're committing offences in Britain, then they're bolting over to Northern Ireland. You know, they're changing their names probably. They're probably getting benefits in Ireland, Northern Ireland, and the mainland. You know, you can guarantee it, because they've no ID. You know, they come into any country and they go, "No, I don't have any ID." Like, what name do you want? Oh, just Mohammed Yusuf. There you go. There's a national insurance number. There you go. Go and get your benefits. Boom, train over to Southern Ireland. Just in. What's your name? Don't have any ID. Give us a name. You see how it works? You know? So, hello everybody. Hello, Ambi. Freedom Dad, the truth has to come. Keep reporting. We need to know to protect the vulnerable. Keep the powder dry. Yeah. You obviously can't say anything on here, but if anything being organised, but is anything being organised? So, but there's a demo in Belfast and there's a demo in Dublin. The demo in Dublin is on Saturday. The demo in Belfast is on the demo in Dublin is on Saturday. The demo in Belfast is on Sunday, and I will be covering the both of them. Hello, Sean Ray. Good to see you. Also drafted Northern Ireland for them, police for the rats. Yes, it's my mate. It's Talger. It's Talger's dog. Hi, Sean. I'm Mutley. I've always said hello to Mutley. I'm just reading your comments out, guys. If you can take Ireland, take it all. Ireland is supposed to be rich now because of the Americans coming, and people are still struggling and homeless. So what gives? I can't understand how the police can act as they are. I can't get my head around it. I can't get my head around it. How a man, a fully grown man, with all the gear on and a shield, can attack women or spray women in the face with CS gas or whatever pepper spray they've got. Can't get my head around it. You know, forcing people, battering people, running at people with batons and just hitting them to the ground. You know, absolute brutality on another level. And all these people are doing is peacefully protesting, you know. The guard are prepped for the bigger picture. Tinderbox feeling that just like UK, yeah, I mean, when people feel they have nothing more to lose, that is when they become dangerous. Saturday the 26th of April will be big. Yes, Latifa, Logan, 100%. I'm going to be there reporting it. I'm hoping to get a chat with a couple of YouTubers from Ireland. Yeah, I don't know where that's going to go. I have got some friends trying to help set something up, you know what I mean? And I really don't know how it's going to go. You know, I'm just going to be me, you know what I mean? But it's how they take me. That's the problem, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it'll all be getting videoed anyway. Just reading your comments, guys. Hi, Risley, Dampo, Alubum, hello. Places here in England are unrecognisable. All people want is live in peace. Yeah, go in Ballymena, not a white man in it. If you can, so well, I'll just tell you the story. Coming from Ireland, I was on the bus and going through some places. You know, it was it's a culture shock. It's Ireland's changed. Everybody you speak to, every single Irish person, no matter how old they are really, really concerned. You know, everybody I've spoke to are all going on about Conor McGregor. That's the debate. Can he do it? Can he be a president? How many people does he need to support him? You know, people are wanting change. People are grasping out for anything right now in Ireland. They really are. Please believe me, this is not a place where they're sitting asleep or oblivious to they know what's going on. Every corner of Ireland know what's going on. You know, because it's that kind of country. You know, you don't. It's not like Britain, where the problem we have, not everybody's on the internet and people are still watching Sky News and BBC News. Ireland's different. Ireland, it's like there's another network. Forget the internet. You know, there's another network. It's like word of mouth. It's like port to port, city to city. It's spreading. You know, I don't know if it's the pubs because like Ireland, like their Guinness and all the rest of it. I don't know, but they're all awake. You know, I've been with people who don't even have mobile phones. You know, most people have Faraday cases to put their phones into. They're all aware of the 5G. You know, I'm blown away by how much people are truly awake. You know, I'm talking about people in their 60s that are totally tuned on to what's going on. You know, from the old to the young. You know, please believe me. Now, I'm telling you what I'm seeing. I am blown away that the amount of people that truly know what's going on and are horrified at what's going on. And that's how I know that Dublin is going to be massive on Saturday. That's, you know, just by being here and talking to people and listening to people's stories and what their experiences, you know, it's unbelievable. And then, you know, there's all the stories of the attacks, and I've heard some bad stuff. Heard some bad stuff, like, and you know, it's one of them ones, you know what I mean? I don't have the receipts and I've got to be careful, you know. Hello, Window Man. I hope you are enjoying your stay in Limerick. I know you will be there in Dublin in spirit. I'll be in Dublin in spirit and body. I will be there, guys. You know, I'm no shying away from none of this. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I have faith, and I understand that Republicans and Northern Ireland folk, we never really seen eye to eye. But at the minute, I'm getting nothing but love. Okay, people know me. There's a lot of people like know I'm here and know I'm talking. People are interested in talking to me and stuff. You know what I mean? And it's really, really nice. You know, how many loyalists do you think these people have ever met? Really, like, you know what I mean? And it's amazing. It's like it is really, really good because they are absolutely amazing people. You know, I'm blown away with hospitality. I'm blown away how open they are to anything right now. Anything, guys, you know what I mean? And this is like, it's like they're reaching out for us to help them. Yes, us know, like anybody, they need help. Just like the England are stubborn. I'll be honest with you, English guys are stubborn. I see the YouTubers putting up your. I see you putting up your wee what do you call them? Where people vote and should England be on its own? You know, how do you feel about England being on its own and not being part of Scotland and Northern Ireland and whatever? You know, that's up to you. You know what I mean? Really, that's up to you. But this is not the time for anybody. I'm telling you that Scotland's going to break away, and there's a good chance Northern Ireland's going to break away because we can see where it's going in England. You got to understand what the optics look like from everybody outside looking at England. Everybody around the world, people are shocked. Do you understand? People are absolutely shocked. And what worries me is Scotland were that close to getting independence, that close to breaking away from the Union. Very, very close to losing everything Scotland were. Because even though they were wanting independence, they wanted to break away from the Union, they were also wanting to join the European Union. And look at Ireland. So lucky you, Scotland. But I see a future where the Scottish people will vote for independence and mean independence with no connection to the European Union, no connection to the British Union, because all these in unions seem to have their doors wide open and everybody's coming through England and coming to Ireland and going wherever they want, wherever they want. They can pick anywhere they want and they just land there and the council will give them whatever they want because of who they are. And they're going to get priority. They're getting hotels, guys. They're getting 3-star, 4-star hotels. They're getting free mobile phones. You know, this is like just one big, massive holiday camp for every Rungian around the world that no other country wants to take. You know, Egypt. Please Google Egypt's border to Gaza, Palestine. Google their border. When you come off this live, just Google it. Have a wee look at the border that Egypt's put up to make sure that they don't come in there. You know, you check out Poland, you check out Qatar, you check out Saudi Arabia. These places are serious about not letting these men in, and yet we're wide open. So imagine you've got a load of headers running about your street, and everybody's locking their doors, and you're the only street, in the only house in the street with your door wide open. All the headers are coming to your house. That's, you know, it's absolutely mind blowing. Absolutely mind blowing. Who else is going to come to this country illegally? Any country illegally? You know, people that can't get into any other country and do and get away with what they really want to do and get away with. You know, because they can do and get away with it here. Do you know why they can do it and get away from it here? Because our politicians have been doing it and getting away with it for the last 50, 60, maybe 100 years. As you know, with the 50-odd Labour. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, you know. I know the stories. I could tell you stories about politicians going back to the 60s and the 70s abusing our children in children's homes, you know. So you can understand, if our government are at it, it's a predator's paradise. Our country is a predator's paradise. You know, this is the new Thailand for pedos. Sorry, guys, but that's what it's looking like. You know, the amount of sex offences in our countries right now is off the scale. 1 in 4 attacks. You know, I'm not even going to throw the figures out because I'm not going to get it wrong. The figures are mind blowing of what's going on. Absolutely mind blowing, and like I say, guys, and when any of us do anything bad, it's all over the place. It's like, you know, anything that's like we've grew up with, any like any actors or anybody that like the priests and all that back in the day, all over the news, named and shamed. You know, they'd interview anybody that knew the person. You know, they'd interview victims, the mothers of the victims. You know, named and shamed all over the place. But all of a sudden, these men are protected and our government is silencing everybody. As soon as something happens, they're straight out to the parents' house. Don't put anything online. Don't say nothing. They won't release names. They won't release any descriptions. And when they don't do that, what they're not doing is warning the rest of the civilians in them areas that there's dangerous men walking about, taking photographs, hanging about parks, hanging about schools, and it's rife. It's in every single city, every single area where these men are landing. They're just landing here and they're just free to go wherever they want. They're free to go wherever. And you've got to understand this, guys. These are young, fighting age men, full of testosterone. We've all been young men. I'm 55, you know. We all know what young men are like, you know. Who's having sex with these men? All these thousands upon thousands of men that are coming over this country, all our countries, every part of our countries is affected now. They're coming into our countries. They're coming from all over the world, Africa, Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and our women do not want to go with these men because that's just the way it is. You know, that's life. You know what I mean? That's a cultural thing. You know, in most cases, the same kind of people from the same countries are attracted to each other. Very rarely, all right, you get a lot of men around the Spanish women and Mexican women and all that. Yeah, okay. But I'm talking about our women, the type of men our women go for. And it isn't these men. So please, somebody tell me, where are these men going to get what they need? Because they're young men full of testosterone. And there's no point not talking about it. These men need to have sex. These men will be wanting to have sex. That's what young men do, no matter where you're from in the world. And that needs to be addressed immediately, because we're seeing the repercussions of that, just that. There's no two ways about it. And it's difficult to talk about, but it's truth, it's facts, it's not misinformation. You don't need to be a rocket scientist or have a degree to work that one out. Right, get your comments. Tizer Max, why are the Irish government not processing asylum seekers if found illegal? They can deport without EU's approval. There's as far as I'm concerned, there's something big going on. There's a plan, and this is all being orchestrated, and there's an end goal. Personally, I think our countries are being used as an overflow. I think our countries are going to be. This isn't going to stop for many years to come. That's what I personally think. I think we are going to keep on not having children ourselves. White Christian men from Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, England, Wales. The birth rate is dropped. We have got more people dying than we have getting born for the first time ever. You got to understand, this is what people are saying. People believe that the governments, the people, whoever's running these governments, whatever is going on, are waiting for us, Generation X, to go. Because we know that our kids are in trouble if we don't sort this out. We have no choice but to stand up and take risks and chances. Even though we're right, even though we've got the truth and we've got God on our side, we are going to have to stand up and take a chance and take a risk of being arrested at these protests. People need to come out onto the streets, and I'm not saying people need to come out and be violent, but people do need to come out and take a stand, take a peaceful stand. And I know a lot of people are frightened because of the way the police are behaving and the way they bring out in these orders when people have got to disperse, and if you don't disperse, they kettle you in. You see what the English do, kettle them all in, pick them all off one by one. I know people are afraid. People have got jobs, fathers, mothers, but at the end of the day, guys, this is your life. This is everything that your mothers, your fathers, your grannies and your granddads and your great grannies and great granddads have fought for. They worked hard to build the life that you're living. They paid their taxes, and they give everything for us, for you, your parents, your grannies and your granddads, and they would expect you to be standing up right now and protecting what they gave you, what they left you, what they left us, the freedoms that we have, the freedoms in this country to practice our religion, the freedoms in this country to celebrate Easter, celebrate the rising of Christ. Not he has risen, Christ has risen, to celebrate that, not hide it, not be scared to offend people. When have we ever been scared to offend anybody in any of our countries because we're Christians? Whether we're Catholics or Protestants. Never in our history, and ever in our lands, ever have we ever been afraid to offend any human being because of our religion. This is something that is huge. We are being silenced. Us Christians in Ireland, Roman Catholics in Ireland, are being silenced for want to offend. So hello everybody that's come in, few new faces. Thanks for coming in. Letterkenny has been took over. So these comments that you'll be reading, guys, will be people that are living it. I know about Letterkenny. I'm hoping to go to Letterkenny. I'm hoping to go to Donegal as well, and do some interviews with some very influential YouTubers. There's a lot of work to do to get to that stage where we're able to sit down as YouTubers, as citizen journalists, no Protestants, no Catholics, no exits, no exat, just two men who love their countries, who both love their religions equally, that need to speak at the moment, because something's a lot bigger than us, a lot bigger than the paramilitaries, a lot bigger than Ulster, a lot bigger than the Battle of the Boyne, guys, a lot bigger than the Easter Uprising. It's a lot bigger than the famine. Please believe me. You've recovered from the famine. I know you took your losses, but you've recovered from the famine. You know, we've recovered from everything. I don't think Ireland will recover from this going forward into the future. You know, people are afraid, people are worried, people are concerned in Ireland, and I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. You know, you can see the comments, guys. You know, Sean Murray, good evening. Ireland has become a kip. Yep. The Guinness fine, Letterkenny is destroyed. They are even trying to do away with talking in pubs now. I want Ireland to be Irish sea traditions. Yeah, we need Britain to wake up desperately. Wish I could be there in Dublin too. Good luck to you all and stay together. I'll be watching from Chester on YouTube. Cheers, Sean. Hi, MB. I've worked with loyalists and publicans over the years. Good, Nick Khan. Good to see you back in Ireland, or what? Are you still on your travels? Hello, Linda. Good to see you. Hello, James. My good friend, James Cahill. I love that name. I love that name, Cahill, for some reason. I don't know what it is, you know what I mean? It's just, I love saying it. I'm no longer proud of England. Scotland will make the right decision if it breaks away from the Union. Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying, guys. See, can you see how crazy things are getting? You know, I'm absolutely distraught. I'm absolutely distraught. What's going on? You know, you need to travel to understand what's going on. You need to go to all these cities. You need to go to Glasgow. You need to go to Liverpool. You need to go to Dublin. You need to go to Belfast. You need to go to the cities. If you want to know what's coming in your outer areas, your outer boroughs, look at the cities. Because the cities will only fill up to a certain degree, and then it pushes out the way. All you got to do is look at England, look at Birmingham, Luton, Oldham, Halifax, Rotherham, Rochdale. You know, I could go on. You know, um, the cities can only take so much, and they're in the cities. They're in the cities, guys, simply because if they keep everything else silent, keep it all in the cities, before you know it, you won't know what hit you, because you won't be aware. People aren't aware. Everybody's struggling. Everybody's struggling to feed, eat, and heat. Everybody's get their head down. You know what I mean? My mates are grafting right now, grafting, and they're struggling to keep food on the table. You know, and that's not. You don't have the luxury of in the evening to throw your feet up and stick on a bit of YouTube. You really don't, because you're up at 6:30, you're out to work, and you're coming home, you're spending a bit of time with your kids, you're getting a bit of grub in you, maybe having a couple of beer, catch up with a bit of football or something, and you're getting the head down. You know what's news at 10 or news at 11 or anything like that. You don't have time for none of that. And that's what the government are relying on, you know. That's what they're relying on. They're relying on people not paying any attention at all. But it's not working, because it's overwhelming. It is overwhelming. We've got a chapel burning in Donegal. And it's not the Prods. The Prods aren't burning chapels. Protestants have never burnt chapels. So who's burning the chapel? When the Pope dies, you know? Palestinians barred from Egypt. Yeah. Kuwait, UAE, Saudi Arabia. Yeah, I know that. And I'm around people who have children working in Saudi Arabia, you know? I have friends who have people working in Egypt. I know how they behave, what they're thinking of what's going on in Britain. People are absolutely shocked. Other Muslims countries are shocked at what we're letting into our countries right now. Yeah, you're right, Banty. I'm sorry, I'm catching up your thingies. I'm going to skip some, guys. I'm going to have to skip some. I'm just going to make sure I haven't missed. All right, George, good to see you. That boat, John Connor, it's going to stop. Bandy, John Capone, we still have Sinn Féin as a massive problem, yeah. Litigation. Hello, litigation. It's sad to say, but did you think we need to shame our people into action? Why are citizens asleep? I've just explained that. They're asleep because we're paying the most in the world. There's nobody paying more money for gas and electricity in the world than us. Let that sink in. Let that sink in, guys. Why do you think that is? Why do you think a nation so great as Ireland and Britain are paying the most money for gas and electricity than anywhere else in the world? What's going on? Like, you got to ask yourself that. That's why people aren't awake. People are struggling right now. People are struggling just to get through. People are working hard and are struggling. People are working hard and are just making ends meet. People with big families are struggling to keep the clothes on their children, get their kids what they want, the video games. You know, the holidays are gone. People can't afford the holidays anymore. For the record, I've got no kids, but I worry for our future generation. 100%. John Capone now. I'm going to talk to you about that. All right, Paul boy, good to see you, mate. I'm a prod. We need an Irish Pope to save Ireland, and I'm a prod. I don't even think some of the Irish believe that, to be honest with you, buddy. You know, very, very strange. Very strange. Like, we are Irish. Don't ever forget. John Capone. There's also a lot of people who are not interested if it doesn't affect them, as long as they are getting their nights on the drink. It's so due, Jack. I'm okay. Right, so that's me at the bottom, guys. Getting through one quarter, only to turn back and get the door handle from the other one end. Yeah, it is. It is like, it's just absolutely. I am pretty shocked. Like, I wasn't. No, I was. I'll be honest. I was expecting a wee bit of animosity. You know, I was expecting questions and being looked at scrupulously and like with maybe a wee bit of suspicion and stuff like that. Nothing like that. And I honestly do believe that it's just there's a bigger picture now, guys. People are realizing there's a bigger picture, and yeah, all I can do is tell you what's going on. You know what I mean? I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not going to make anything up. I'm not going to exaggerate. I really do not want to be talking like this, guys. I do not want to be bringing this kind of stuff to you. You know, I'm homeless 10 months. I'm homeless 10 months. Yeah, I know, it's not good. And I know, mate, it's not good. It's difficult for people that are struggling right now when they see these people getting so much, and it's totally understandable. But like I say, there's a lot of attacks going on. There's a lot of women being attacked. There's a lot of nastiness. Honestly, guys, it's not just sexual attacks. There's an awful lot of hatred towards women. Women are being hurt, being punched. You know, um, like I've seen a video where there was foreigners in this country beating a young man and telling the young man that this is their city now. I'm seeing so much stuff, and it's all being kept quiet. All being kept quiet. Nothing's getting out onto the media. I don't know what you're hearing about the chapel burning. So yeah, I can only tell you what I'm hearing. They are the word on the street allegedly Afghans. And I don't want to be bringing that kind of news to you. I don't want to be saying that. I'm just telling you logically, honestly, as I always do, what is going on wherever I am and what's in my head, and that's how I do my videos. I only talk about what's in my head. I'm not sitting here with any paper or scripts or nothing. I leave it to you to ask me questions and give me a wee bit of feedback of what you're hearing. And that's how we work. That's how all YouTubers should be working. We should all be having communities. Doesn't matter how big we are, and each, like, I know yous guys, I know all yous guys now, and yous are all over the place. I see yous. Yous all meet up in different platforms and different YouTubes, and and that's what it's all about. I heard exactly what you said. Yeah, James, that's, that's common. Everybody's saying that, you know what I mean? Night Britain, and I think there must be, yep, your tongue. Rosaline makes the joints smaller or bigger. That make it, yeah, a good one. But, yeah, but apart from that, everything's good. So, yeah, too many RT. So I want to do a wee bit of fishing. I like fishing. I've always been a fisherman. Fished everywhere, you know what I mean? And so I've never fished in the Atlantic. I've never ever fished in it. It's the only place I've never fished because I've fished everywhere. I mean, I really have fished everywhere. Sea fishing, mate. I don't. I'm talking about sea fishing. I don't fish in. I would never fish in a reservoir or a stock pond. Um, Maybe a river, depending how big it is. But sea fishing is the only fishing that I truly believe is the real sport. You know what I mean? When you got this, when you look at the Atlantic Ocean, and and I'm going to try and get a shark. That's what I'm hoping to get, guys. Believe it or not, I've never been able to fish for these kind of fish that are here because it's the Atlantic. It's a different ball game. So I'm really looking forward to that. And obviously, I'll take my phone and stuff and do wee videos and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Um, How you go, kipper fishing? You look like Greggy Campbell. I don't know who Greggy Campbell is. Hope it's not bad. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. There's lobster fishing and everything. They do everything like it's yeah, amazing river fish may give the sea fish a run for their money. Over 400 wild Atlantic salmon on the fishing rod and pictures to prove. Well done, mate. Well done. No, we don't doubt you. We don't doubt you. Sea fishing, especially off the west coast of Ireland, is different animal to other locations. That's what I'm looking forward to. You know what I mean? So the bottom of the ocean food is supposedly is evil. I don't know about that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that, and I'm going to go and have a look at some things that might interest you and get eyes on. Maybe even get a wee interview with somebody. So that's the plan in the next couple of days to definitely bring video evidence of what I'm talking about. You know, check out Poland Live daily for truth. They are coming in mass. Hitting. Mate, don't forget the Godfather when you're gone fishing. Fredo, lol. That thing about coming to Ireland is that it is an island, nowhere to go. Yeah. So yeah, and then obviously I'm going to be doing the Dublin thing. I'm looking forward to doing the Dublin protest. Um, yeah, I'm hoping to get some good interviews and stuff. And I'm talking mostly just talking to people and understanding how they feel and talking about religion, talking about Ireland, how they feel about Northern Ireland, how they feel about the mainland, and it is really, really interesting. It really, really is, and it's not what I thought. I'm really, really surprised, and I'm telling you guys, anybody from Northern Ireland, that's ever feeling a bit skeptical or a bit worried, especially us guys in the Protestant loyalist areas about going to Ireland, obviously, it is what it is, but it is an amazing place and they are amazing people. There's no two ways about it. They are really, really nice people, and it isn't what you think. It really isn't. The bottom line is irregular immigration has changed people's ideologies. Yeah, you never know. You never know, Nick Can. You never know. Um, I liked it when you got out there, Freedom Dad. Go forward. It's great. Thank you, Ambi. Yeah, I needed it. I was like, as you know, it was 5 years after my wife died there. You know what I mean? And it was a wee bit tough for me. You know what I mean? And yeah, Katie's getting her own place and that. You know what I mean? So I was missing the baby because she's got to go into a hotel. We've got to jump through hoops. You know what I mean? To get houses, as you know. Katie's got a baby. Obviously, she'll get a bit of priority. 49% of Donald Tusk being our friendly man from the east. Latifa, I can't. I'm sorry. What part of Limerick are you, Freedom Dad? You probably can't say. Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm quite sure if you know Limerick, it wouldn't be too hard to find out. When people go on holiday, they only see it as an opportunity to become what they are. Ireland does look rugged, and one day we'll visit, but I don't leave my dog ever or leave him in a cage on a boat, maybe hire a charter flight, lol. Feeling that a change is as good as a rest. Yeah, definitely, and I needed it, and it's an absolutely amazing part of the world, and absolutely amazing people. I mean, really, like I can't tell you, I really can't explain to you how amazing the people are, the conversations that I've had. I've never had conversations, like really deep conversations, and really interesting, and like the understanding of everything as well. It's different class. Have you heard what is Antrim like? My son Sean is going next week to see where his father came from. I'm worried. Antrim's all right. This depends what part of Antrim you're going into. If you can let me know that, I can let you know. Yeah, but you'll always be there to support Katie. And oh yeah, 100%. Look, Katie's like, once she gets the house, she's like, it's like that'll be my house. You know what I mean? Um, Obviously, like, you know, I'm doing my thing, Katie's doing her thing, we're best friends, you know, it is what it is. She's the mother of my baby. I, I picked the best mom I could. I'm so proud of her. She is an amazing mom. I can put my hand on my heart and on my mother's grave. I truly believe that I could not have picked a better mother for my daughter. And I know it's easy to say, but guys, there's not a part of me that is the least bit concerned. I know I've seen what she's like with my wee girl, and yeah, she's my wee girl's going to do well. And Katie knows where I am. If she ever needs me, I could be on a flight and be home in no time. If I really need to. Um, but she's doing her thing, and she's got her life to live as well, and I don't want to be in the way of that big age gap, as you know, guys. I lost my mum when I was 8. My mum was 40 when she had me, and I didn't want that happening to my kid. So obviously, you know I wanted to pick a younger girl, so my daughter's going to have the best and the most out of our mum, at least. And hopefully I'm living a healthier life. I'm looking after myself a lot better. I'm eating good vegetables and potatoes, and drinking plenty of water. I don't drink. I'm on and off with the smoking, you know what I mean? Don't take any drugs, zero drink, and I'm going to do the best to be here for as long as possible for my wee girl. And that's all I can do. And hope God just gives me the years to see her grow up into a young woman, you know. But if I don't, I want to at least make sure I've done everything I can to make sure she's safe to grow up in these countries. Like, I would like her to grow up in Belfast. That's up to Katie. You know what I mean? Um, definitely want my daughter baptized and everything in Belfast. You know what I mean? That's in Northern Ireland, of course I do. Um, my daughter's half Northern Irish, and half Scottish. But I know Katie's okay with that. Katie's a really decent human being and fair with me, you know. Optimism. Well, you have a great relationship. We do. Oh, M&G, long time no see. Ireland is a fantastic place. Go laid back. Some of the most friendliest people I've lived there. I could hope you all had a great Easter. Yeah, honestly, guys. So, what are you on, John Corner? What are you on? I don't know if that's to me. Like, all ex-military have their way of being a pest. That's random. you know, I love ex-military guys. You can't say that. You know. Hi, M and G. Like everyone get you're talking to each other. She will feeling dad with you has a dad. My friend Maggie is half Scot, half Irish. She's mental. I love her from Edinburgh. Yeah, well, I think wee Lucky's gonna be a bit of a character. You know what I mean? To be honest, we like because you know Kitty's a bit of a character, very intelligent, well, obviously she's got her own horse, got her own bike. She's gonna go places, no two ways about it. She's got her head screwed on, and yeah, very very lucky. Lucky is very very lucky. She really is. Like there's no two ways about it. Um, But I hope you are all good. Like I say, I'm having a really nice, relaxing time with absolutely amazing people. Um, Freedom Dad, sorry, Freedom Dad, love them too. Though the truth has more powerful outlook. No, you don't have to apologise. You know what I mean? We're all entitled to our own views and opinions. I'm not knocking you for your views and opinions. If they're different to me, they're different to me. So what? You know what I mean? Like I say, freedom, dad, freedom of speech. You know what I mean? That's my name means freedom of speech, and I'm a dad. That's where my name comes from. My platform is for everybody to have their say, whether you agree with me or you don't agree with me. You know, that's as simple as that. Um, that's important. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. You know, I'm good. Still got a soft spot. You know, me and Kate are still, talking and everything, and we haven't fell out. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But she's young, and I want her to enjoy her life. And like I say, I just don't want to get in the way. I really don't. Um, but to be honest with you, I don't. I don't want to complicate anything. I'm not looking for anybody. I'm not in wanting a relationship or anything like that. I want to be there for my daughter. I want to be there at a drop of a hat for my daughter. I don't want. I want my daughter to be around her mother. I want my daughter to be only around her mother. I don't want my daughter to be around any other women. Um, I don't want my daughter confused. I want to. My daughter will know who her mother is, and she will only have one mother, and she will only have one father as long as I'm alive. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. Um, and like I say, when my daughter needs me, I will be there. I will drop everything for my daughter. I will drop everything for Katie. She's the mother of my daughter. You know, um, so it's no big deal. You know what I mean? It's like I've got enough to be getting on with. When you're dealing with researching and looking at and talking to parents and talking to victims and researching the kind of things I research, guys, I'm not kidding you on relationships and girls and stuff like that. I'm just wanting to get a cup of coffee, get a bit of good grub, and get a good sleep. So I'm up early in the morning. That's all I'm doing, and then I'm getting straight back on to working out how we can sort out what's going on in our country. And I'm not here to be a hero or here to be. I'm just here to do my wee bit, and hopefully my wee bit, along with everybody else's wee bit, will be one big puzzle that we solve together. And that's all I can hope for. I'm hoping I'm leading the way. I've always said I'll do this for as long as I can. For if somebody else wants to take over, take my spot, they're more than welcome. If you can speak better than me and you can get it across better than me, then please do it. I would, I'll always be helping out and in the background, but this isn't. I don't want to be doing this, guys. But I have to do it because there's nobody else that I feel doing it. And I really am concerned about the countries that I love, you know, and Ireland is my new love. Simple as that, it's one of them things that's just been right in front of me, and it's just been the circumstances of the troubles. And we're what ceasefires 96, you know, it's a long time now, guys. You know what I mean? I think it's long enough now where we can venture into the south, and go, hi, I'm from Belfast. I know we haven't got on great lately, but can I say hello? I mean, it's brilliant. It is. I'm being a bit smart here, like, but no, they are amazing people, and there is a wee bit of truth to that. Obviously, there's a bit of trepidation of just Southern Ireland. You know what I mean? It's like it's just the way we've been brought up, guys. You know what I mean? You know. Um, I can't explain it. I know it sounds nuts, but being a Belfast lad, come from Ulster, Northern Ireland, you know, knowing that the other side didn't like us and want their 6 counties back, you know what I mean? It sort of puts a wee bit of a divide between us, you know what I mean? So as a young man growing up in that sort of rhetoric, it does set you up in life to sort of see a difference and feel as if you're opposite or they see them as an enemy. And yeah, it's strange, very, very strange for me to be in Southern Ireland. And I know a lot of people won't understand that, and they just think you're not right. What's the big deal? But it is a big deal. Please believe me, it is a big deal. It's a big deal to me. political establishment parties across Ireland and the United Kingdom have looked down on the natives, but I think the natives will fight back. Yeah. Good night, Amby. John Capone, my bro. Yeah, James, you're right. Yeah, it's like, like it is what it is. Singapore, it's 5:14 a.m. here, and to get on my way to the airport to get a flight to Dubai. Well, enjoy and be safe. Thank you, John Connor. So I've never loved a woman more than any of my pets, especially my canine friends. Oh, some of your exes will be seeing that, man, and be going, what? Serves you right, James Carroll. You're a ladies' man. Oh, dearie me. But that's an hour, guys, an hour and 11 minutes. Like I say, I'm in company and I don't want to, I want to come on every night and say hello to you and let you know what I've been up to. But there will be content coming, I promise you. I'm just settling and I've got a few days here left. I'm here till Saturday. I'll be traveling to Dublin on Saturday. So, yeah. And I'm going to be meeting our new friend, Lindsay. So there's 3 or 4 chase after you, James. Yeah, so I'm going to be meeting Lindsay in Dublin, and we're going to be working together. We're going to be looking out for each other and learning from each other, you know what I mean? And then Lindsay's going to bring me back from Dublin, you know what I mean? Obviously, I'll give her fuel and everything. Everything will be covered between the two of us. I'm not a grifter, guys. But yeah, it's going to be nice, and it's going to be good that the two of us from Northern Ireland, are up in the south in Dublin. I feel representing the people that understand what I'm doing from my communities, and I say that not everybody gets it. It is a dangerous game, guys. Not everybody from my community agrees with what I'm saying or agrees with what I'm doing. But at the end of the day, I know I'm doing the best for my community. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for my community. I'm doing it for my country. I'm doing it for my country people. I've never got anything else in mind. I want this place, Ireland, Northern Ireland, I want it sorted for my daughter. I want it sorted for my daughter's daughter or my daughter's son, my grandchildren, and that's all I have. Good intentions, nothing more than that, guys. And there's nothing I can do about it if people don't like what I'm saying and don't agree with what I'm doing, or are too stuck in the past to even understand it, or just can't see the future and can't see what's coming. Or maybe they just don't care. Maybe they just don't care. They just want it to be the way it is and they don't want to change it, and they don't care if after they die it's going to go shit face down. They just don't care because they're not going to be here any longer. And they obviously don't care about their kids or their grandkids. That's the way I see it. Because if you listen to me and give me 10 minutes of your time, and anybody from Northern Ireland, anybody from my community that doesn't agree with me, they think I'm doing something wrong, I will speak to anybody at all. I will not shy away. I will not hide away. I will go to you wherever you want to meet, and I will give me 10 minutes and let me explain to you what I know and what I think is happening, and then maybe you'll understand it a lot better. Guys, I'm Freedom Dad. Thank you so much for coming on to my live. 13 minutes, we had up to 70 people. That's massive for us, for me. A lot of comments and all that. A lot of new people just having a wee look to see what's happening. Like I say, chapel burning in Donegal. Allegations are flying about of who's responsible. We don't have proof. We need to wait till the investigation's over. The Pope's just died. Did he just die? Or has he been dead for a while? Do people care? Do the Irish care? You know what I mean? Things are changing. I'm Freedom Dad. Before the dog goes mental, God bless. Catch you all tomorrow. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.